The Wolf Girl of Devil's River, Texas. The Wolf Girl is a real incident or tale about a young woman who was spotted wolf pack hunting alongside them. There is a certain appeal to tales of savage kids. What if animals adopted us instead of other people to raise us? Were we going to keep our humanity, or would we just turn into a snarling beast? Stories of wild kids make us wonder what it means to be human and raise questions about the relative importance of nature and nurture. These kinds of tales are well known all throughout the world. One peculiar and enigmatic tale of a feral child, who was allegedly reared by wolves to become a legend, originates in the southwest regions of the United States and Mexico. From Del Rio, Texas, head northwest into the desert until you reach Devil's River. Where Dry Creek merges with Devil's River, a trapper by the name of John Dent and his wife Molly settled in the 1830s. Dent sought out beaver, which were common in that area. He and Molly constructed a hut out of brush, and close to it, they erected an arbor to provide shade. When Molly Dent got pregnant, John Dent rode his horse to their farthest neighbors when she was about to give birth to their child. To the man and his wife he remarked, "My wife is having a baby. Can you assist us?" They agreed to arrive right away. When they were about to go, a severe storm developed, and John Dent was killed by a lightning strike. The man and his wife eventually located his cabin, but they didn't get there until the following day. Then, Molly Dent had also passed away. She appeared to have given birth prior to passing away. However, the baby was not found by the neighbors. They concluded that the wolves had eaten it because there were wolf prints everywhere. After interring Molly Dent, they left. First sighting of the Wolf Girl. Many years after her passing, a bizarre story started to circulate. Some insisted it was a factual story, while others claimed it was impossible. 12 miles from Molly Dent's tomb, the story starts in a little town. One early dawn, wolves rushed in from the desert and slaughtered a few goats. Such assaults were common at the time. However, a youngster believed he saw a young woman racing with the wolves who was naked and had long blonde hair. A woman discovered some wolves devouring a goat they had just killed a year or two later. She stated that a young girl with long blonde hair, who was not dressed, was eating the goat with them. The wolves and the girl both ran away when they saw her. According to the woman, the girl initially went on all fours, before standing up and running like a person, as quickly as the wolves. People began to speculate as to whether this wolf girl was Molly Dent's offspring. Had a wolf mother taken her away the moment she was born and nurtured her with her pups? If so, she would be 10 or 11 years old by this point. Howling cries of the wolf girl. Some males started looking for the girl as the tale was being told. They looked along the riverbanks, in the desert's canyons, and nearby. They allegedly discovered her one day while she was accompanied by a wolf as she walked through a gorge. The girl hid in a gap in one of the canyon walls when the wolf fled. She resisted the men's attempts to apprehend her by biting and scratching them like an agitated animal. When they managed to get her under control, she started yelling and howling like a scared juvenile wolf and a young girl. Her abductors bound her with rope, sat her on a horse, and drove her to a tiny ranch house in the middle of the desert. The following day, they agreed to deliver her to the sheriff. They unfastened her and put her in a room that was empty. She hid in the shadows out of fear. After leaving her, they bolted the door. She quickly resumed her howling and shouting. When she finally quit talking, the men feared they would go insane from listening to her. Wolves howled in the distance as night fell. People claimed that the girl responded by howling each time they stopped. According to the legend, wolf howls could be heard coming from all sides and becoming closer and closer. Wolves suddenly attacked the horses and other livestock, as though a signal had been delivered. The men charged into the shadows while firing their weapons. There was a tiny window in the room where they left the girl, high up in the wall. They nailed a plank over it. She dislodged the plank, squeezed through the window, and vanished. There was no sign from the girl for years. Then one day, not far from Devil's River, a group of men on horses rounded a curve in the Rio Grande. They claimed to have witnessed a young woman feeding 2 wolf puppies while sporting long blonde hair. She grabbed the puppies and fled into the brush as soon as she spotted the males. They followed her on their horses, but she soon dispersed. They looked everywhere, but they couldn't find her. The wolf girl's last known act is that. The story concludes there in the desert, close to the Rio Grande. Ghost of the Wolf Girl. Strange tales have persisted into more recent times, but as people's memories of the wolf girl faded, it turned into a kind of local folklore, because there have been sporadic reports of seeing the wolf girl's ghost prowling through the wilderness, usually described as a white apparition with long hair that runs around on all fours before disappearing into thin air. It appears that, if the wolf girl ever existed, she hasn't really gone anywhere even after passing away. When the girl was 17 years old, one day she suddenly vanished into the countryside for good. Soldiers in Camp Hudson, Texas, reported hearing howling and cries at night throughout the 1850s and 1860s. It is currently difficult to determine what happened to Molly Dent's daughter.